So does a fragrance that you hate ever grow on you, that you end up liking it, enjoying it, and wearing it? Yep, it has happened to me with OUD MINERALE. What about a style that you hate, you despise? Does it ever grow on you and you appreciate that style? It has sort of happened with me with OUD MINERALE and the fact that it's very aquatic marine, bordering fishy. And today I am reviewing the new version of OUD MINERALE, which just launched from Tom Ford, and comparing it to the previous version here. So find out all about OUD MINERALE 2024. Is it 24 or 23? A lot of places say 23, but this came out in 2024. Whatever it is, the latest version of OUD MINERALE review for you coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Sebastian. Were you one of the lovers of the original OUD MINERALE or the haters? So I was in the latter camp. I hated this stuff. In fact, I didn't fully review the fragrance. I mentioned it in a review of another Tom Ford fragrance from a decant. I despised the smell. Really, really hated it. In fact, on me, it smelled of fish, rotting sulfuric fish. Really, really despised the smell. I think it was the seaweed note that was in the original that actually really, really sensitive to, and it just overwhelmed me and I couldn't stand it. But I know there was a lot of people that enjoyed this particular fragrance, but I was wondering also, was it necessary to move from private blend to the signature line? Because I knew that there were fans of it, but are there a lot of fans of OUD MINERALE that it deserves to go into the signature collection? Let me know if you're one of the people that enjoys OUD MINERALE. You enjoyed it in the private blend collection when it came out in 2017, and you ran out of the fragrance and now you're anticipating the new version. I do have to say the new bottle is quite gorgeous. I really like this one. Kind of sort of like the bottle of Metallic, but of course not reflective like Metallic is. And I like the coloring of this fragrance. Do you think the color, do you smell OUD MINERALE in this color? For me, it's more blue because we are smelling marine, maybe blue-green, but they've gone in a kind of copper-colored brownish tones here, which I personally don't think matches the fragrance. But again, do you think it was necessary to move this fragrance from private blend to the signature line? Let me know if that is a correct thing that Tom Ford did. I think there are other fragrances that are a bit more appealing than this. I was thinking maybe tobacco oud. A lot of folks are saying tobacco oud is going to be moved into the signature line, but I have spoken to a rep for Tom Ford and they said that would never move into the signature line. But even better than that, what about Plum Japonais? That is actually a fragrance that's much more appreciated than OUD MINERALE. I know OUD MINERALE has been a polarizing fragrance. There was the lovers of it and there were the haters of it. But either way, we have it now as a signature fragrance. And what are your thoughts? So again, I was in the latter camp. I hated OUD MINERALE. I have grown into enjoying it. Something about the fragrance, I started appreciating it probably within the last couple of years, not right when it was first launched. Also, because I had a friend who gifted me a half bottle of OUD MINERALE in the private blend. They were getting rid of their collection and she said, you can have it. I said, okay, thank you so much. And I think touching the bottle, because it had all the leaks on it, smelling it on my hands, I've gotten used to it. In fact, I am appreciating the original version over the new version much more. But also speaking to another Tom Ford rep recently, they mentioned that OUD MINERALE had been a exclusive at Ulta for a while. So is that really true? Have you guys noticed that? But now that ran out, of course, we have this new version. But either way, the original version was created by Shyamala Maisondieu, perfumer at Givaudan. So most likely she's worked on this. There are differences. I do smell them, and I'm going to tell you what they are. But this features notes of salty seaweed, oud blend, ambergris accord, smoky woods, musks, pink peppercorn, fir balsam. And then the 2017, I wasn't able to get this off of an official retailer like Tom Ford. I took it off of the databases. Sea notes, sea salt, seaweed, oud, ambergris, pink pepper, styrax, balsam fir, pepperwood. So if you see balsam fir versus fir balsam, they're very similar. And that's a keynote for me in the original OUD MINERALE versus the new one. So I actually bought this in France. I had to just put it out. I wanted to have it because I really love this bottle. Again, the bottle is really great. For me, it doesn't match the scent, but we'll go with it. But to me, this is a very greasy take on the original Oud Mineral. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. There's a very greasy, oily consistency here when you first spray it. It's pretty rough. And it doesn't have the inviting quality that I have grown to appreciate in the original. I don't know why I appreciate it now, but it's grown on me quite a bit. Again, marine notes are some of the most challenging fragrances for me. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate marine fragrances, and then there's a lot of people out there that love marine fragrances. Let me know if you're a hater of marine fragrances or a lover of marine fragrances. Again, I was in the latter camp. I hated it, but that thing has grown on me, and I can totally notice differences between the two. For me, what really stands out between the two fragrances is the fact that the Fir Balsam's green aromatic woodiness is a lot more amped up, and I could smell it more in Oud Mineral versus the new Oud Mineral from 2024 or 2023. Something about that greasy oiliness when you first spray this one is so overwhelming, it really crosses out that Fir Balsam note. Because for me, Fir Balsam is woods, but there's an aromatic, herbal, spicy camphor-like smell to it that is really nice in that one. And it comes off in contrast to all the marine notes, the fishiness, the ambergris, and also the oud that's in there. That is a nice thing to have there, and I'm not getting that much with this particular version. I am getting a very similar fragrance, but with an overdose of like this greasiness, smokiness, intense oiliness that's here overwhelming the fragrance with all of its marine and seaweed and ambergris glory. Those are the differences for me between the two. But here's the thing. I'm very sensitive to that greasy oiliness with the new version. It's actually lasting a little longer than the old version. Also, perhaps this is a brand new release. It hasn't been aging for the longest time, so perhaps it hasn't really fully blended as well. And this has been around. I don't know how old this bottle is. It was just, like I said, given to me as a friend. But I don't know when it came out. So it's been sitting in this bottle for a long time. And the blending might be a lot more blended kind of a thing, if that makes sense. But let me know if you guys have experienced the greasiness of this new version over the original. And the original, like I said, to me, smells much better now compared to the new version. And it took a while for me to get used to that one, but I appreciate that one a lot more than this one. And going back to the idea of Tom Ford's private blend fragrances moving into the signature line, do you think it was necessary to move Oud Mineral? Are there a lot of fans of Oud Mineral out there? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's such a polarizing fragrance. There's the lovers and the haters of it. And it's really like either side, not in the middle. Well, I kind of like it, but I don't wear it kind of a thing. But maybe there are some folks out there that are like that too. But maybe there was a demand for this thing to come into the to the signature line. Again, I don't think it was particularly necessary, because there's also, when you look online, when you search online, there's still stock out there of the original Oud Mineral. I think I could see some here and there at various discounters. So I personally, like I said, if you can find the original, get the original, but then the price point is so much different. We've got signature line prices here for Oud Mineral 2024, and then we've got the private blend prices for the original private blend fragrance. So anyway, I don't really know why this was a necessity for Tom Ford to bring it here, but perhaps, like I said, there's a demand for it. But for me, we'll leave this for a while and see if it kind of ages a little more and the Fir Balsam note kind of comes through and cuts through that greasiness, because that's pretty much turning me off right now, because it's blended in a way that you're smelling fishy marine ambergris seaweed with grease coated all over it. Like imagine you're at the sea and there's an oil spillage, like something happened. We used to have those quite a bit back in the old days where, you'd have to go rescue animals and things like that. I'm just kind of envisioning that. All this grease and all the fishy marine smells mixed together kind of a thing. That's what I'm getting with Oud Mineral 2024. But with the original, it smells really nice. Not a love. Again, these are not both love fragrances. For me, it's a tough genre for me to appreciate with marine fragrances or mineral-y fragrances. They're just really tough. But for some reason, I've gotten so used to the original, I can appreciate it now, and I can see why some folks enjoy it. whereas some people are so sensitive to it that they're very dramatic. I was in that camp before. I know there's still some fragrances out there that smell of sulfur that's very, very challenging. Smells of fish, sulfur, very marine seaweed. It's like you're spraying sea juice, fish juice on you or something. It just reeks. But it depends on the person. Some people are more sensitive to certain things, and that's what causes the unpleasant experience of the fact that you're smelling fish, and it's not necessarily a very pleasant smell, and so on. This happens not only with marine fragrances, it happens with all kinds of fragrances, and depending on the notes. Like some notes you might be uber sensitive to, and your reaction will be very dramatic. Perhaps it's a white floral note, perhaps it's vanilla, it's too sweet, perhaps it's patchouli, it's too woody, earthy, something like that. Very dramatic reactions, and it happens. And for me, my most challenging notes have been very fishy marine notes. I can tolerate animalic fragrances, but also marine notes plus ambergris. Sometimes ambergris, which this supposedly has, is very, very challenging as well. But either way, those are my thoughts on this latest version of Oud Mineral. But I'm going to go ahead and quickly spray the two on skin and tell you a little bit more about it. I've been wearing and testing both of them out. And again, this new one is very greasy marine to me compared to the new one. And the new one, I've got it in a little atomizer here. And I'm going to spray it right here. 3 sprays of each. And do let me know if you are anticipating any other Tom Ford fragrances that have been discontinued from Private Blend moving into the signature line. What would you like to see come in there? I think Plum Japonais would be a really, really big hit. People have been asking for that one for so long. People want that to come into the signature line. But I also heard something from the grapevine that Tom Ford might be keeping that to have as a private blend, the upper echelon of private blends where they're very, very pricey. Like recently they launched Italian Cypress and Arabian Wood and a few of those fragrances. They might be keeping that fragrance for that because it is so sought after, but I don't know. But let's quickly smell Oud Mineral 2024. It's pretty fishy. And again, both of them are pretty fishy, but this one's covered in grease. And I can smell the green fir balsam, the greenish touches of the fir balsam here, really nicely blended together in comparison to the Oud Mineral, which is mostly the grease and the fishy marine touches. But when I'm smelling them side by side, this one's a lot louder. The new 2024 version is a lot louder in comparison to the old version, the 2017 version. But I feel like the blending is much better here than here. Things stand out too much, and that grease is just really hitting my nose, and I'm not appreciating it as much. It's a lot rougher. Just imagine rough seas with oil spillage. That's what I get with this new version of Oud Mineral. Anyway, that's my thoughts for you today on the latest version of Oud Mineral, the 2024 or 2023 version. Let me know if you've gotten your nose on Oud Mineral from Tom Ford, and do you appreciate the original or the new, or do you don't see any similarities between the original and the new one? Do you get the grease that I'm getting from the Oud Mineral 2024? Let me know, put a comment down below so I can find out. And also let me know, what fragrance would you like to see come into the signature collection next? I know there are a lot of Tom Ford fragrances that have come and gone from the private blend collection. So definitely I'm anticipating some more. Would you like to see Tobacco Oud in the signature collection? Would you like to see Plum Japonais, or what else? Let me know. Put a comment down below so I can find out. But either way, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.